Welcome back. In this section, we will see how to do the data profiler project in Streamlit. For example, if you see that I given an option for the user to drag and drop whatever the Excel file or CSV file. If I browse it, some CSV file, let's say the tips.csv, now our data gets loaded and trying to generate the report. Once the report is generated, this is what we can able to see about our data. It's a completely overview of the data. We already seen our data, that what we have and all, and this is the overview and the summary of report of the data. It says that we have the 7 variables and the number of observations of 244 and the missing cells of 0 and so on. In summary, we have the 3 numerical features, 3 numerical columns and the 1 boolean column. And also it gives you some alerts like how the each and every column is correlated to other, like it says that total bill is highly correlated with tips and the other fields. And also this is the reproduction, so when I started this and when I ended and what version of pandas I'm using, etc. And the next thing is that we get the detailed overview about the variables regarding the total bill, and this is the distribution. And also we got some high level view of the data, like total this many distinct values are there and the percentage of missing, mean value, minimum, maximum, so on. And if you toggle the details of this, we will get more details about the descriptive statistics like the Q1, Q2, median, 95th percentile and the maximum value and so on. Also we can look into the histogram, that is a distribution of our total bill, and also some most common values in the dataset and extreme values in the dataset. So everything that we can see in the dataset. And also regarding the tip, so we get the detailed overview about the data and some categorical features. For the categorical features, we will get the bar plot, and if you look into the toggle details, we will get the complete picture and overview about the categorical data, and also the bar plot and the pie chart of the categorical features whatever we have. Cool. And more details which you can really able to get in the profiler. And also in this profiler we can get the total bill versus some size scatter plot, and if whatever the category, whatever the numerical features, let's say total bill versus tip and the scatter plot. And not only that, we can use a tip versus size and tip versus total bill and so on. And also we got the correlation for the total bill, tips, size, etc. And also different kinds of correlation. Let's say 5k correlation, which will also gives you the correlation between the categorical features and the numerical features. And also it gives the information about the missing columns and some matrix where exactly we have the missing columns, etc. And this is a sample of first and the sample of last 10 rows and duplicate values, etc. And not only that, I given you the display mode here. If you click on the dark, and the entire visualizations and everything will be converted into the dark color. Let's see this and generate reporting, and here we go. So all the visualizations and everything is in the dark mode. Okay, even for the categorical features and everything in the dark mode. Okay, and similarly there is a one more mode, it's an orange mode, and completely change that into the orange mode. Cool. So all the buttons and everything and visualizations are completely changed in the orange mode. So this is what the project we are going to do in this section. And not only that, we will also deploy this in the cloud. So you will get some URL, something like share.streamlit.io, and this is our get, and we can able to access anywhere in the world. And here I'll show you how to use. So in order to get this URL, we need to, and in order to get this URL, we need to actually deploy in the GitHub. I will show you how to push your files in the GitHub and connect this to our streamlit.io. And also we can manage our app by clicking on the button manage app. And if you click on that, what are the things you want, you can really able to manage this by doing some kind of settings, etc. Okay, in the next lesson we will talk how to do everything from scratch. I will see you on that. Until then, happy learning. Welcome back. Let's start building our project number one, that is data profiling. So for that, what we will do in the same folder, that is nodes, where we created the getting started, APIs and visualization. Let me create one more folder and name this folder as project underscore one. It is data profile. Okay. And inside that, what we have to do is always, whenever you're doing any kind of project, it is always good practice to create a virtual environment. Okay, now what we will do, let me create a virtual environment. For that, click on this path and type cmd and open your terminal or command prompt. Now what you have to do is type the following command to create the virtual environment, which is python -m venv, which stands for virtual environment. And now type the name of the virtual environment you want to create, and the name of the virtual environment I want to create is data profile. So that's what the name of the virtual environment I want to create, and press enter to create the virtual environment. It will take a while to create the virtual environment. Done. We have successfully created the virtual environment. Now the next step is we need to activate our virtual environment. Let me activate the virtual environment, which is dot // and data profile / script / and activate. This will actually activate our virtual environment, and press enter and to activate the virtual environment. And you can see that, you can notice that the name of the virtual environment, that is data profile. For Mac and Linux, use the following command which shows below, that is source and the name of the virtual environment /bin/activate. That will activate your virtual environment. Okay, now the next step is, what you have to do is we need to install the required libraries for this project. For that, what we will do, let me create a new text document and the name the text document as requirements.txt. Okay, now open this requirements.txt and here write down the following libraries that was required for this project. For this project, particularly for the data profiling, I required the NumPy and the pandas, which are the most useful library. Next thing is SciPy. SciPy is a scientific Python, and the next library I want here is Matplotlib. Matplotlib is particularly for visualizations. And obviously we are using the Streamlit, so that's the reason I need to import the Streamlit. I need to install the Streamlit. The next two libraries are particularly useful for the profiling. In pandas, we have a direct library for creating the profiling, that is called pandas profiling. Let me also install pandas-profiling. And in order to visualize the object of pandas profiling in Streamlit, we need to use one more library, that is Streamlit-pandas-profiling. Okay, so these are the 7 libraries that was required for this project. Now what we will do, let me close this and open our command prompt again. Now we are going to install all the required libraries that was listed in requirements.txt. Before installing any library in the virtual environment, the first and foremost thing you need to do is you need to upgrade your pip. Okay, let me clear everything. Now let me upgrade my pip. In order to upgrade my pip, type the following command: python -m pip install -upgrade pip, and press enter. That will actually upgrade our pip. Now we will install all the libraries in the requirements.txt. For that, we will type the following command: pip install -r requirements.txt. Now press enter, and that will install all the required libraries that was listed in the requirements.txt. It will take a while to install all these things. Please be patient while installing all the required libraries. I will see you once I install all the required packages. Alright, we have successfully installed all the required libraries in the requirements.txt. Now what we will do, let me close this command prompt. Now let me open my Visual Studio Code. For that, type Visual Studio Code, and which will open my Visual Studio Code. Now what we will do, go to File and click on Open Folder and navigate to the folder where you want to open. Since we already have this folder, let me navigate to this folder. Copy the path. This is the path. Copy the path and paste it here. Now select the folder. That will open our folder. Cool. Now the next step is, let me create a file and name that file as app.py. Okay, as soon as you are creating the app.py, you can notice that the virtual environment that you can find here, it is 3.9.10, and the data profile, which is our virtual environment, which comes here, which will automatically get connected. If you are not able to see your virtual environment, then what you have to do is click on this. Now just enter the path of the virtual environment, or you can navigate that by click on the plus button and click on find, and now you can navigate to the wherever the virtual environment is there. And generally it is in the scripts, and you need to select the python.exe. That's what you have to do here, but most of the cases it will automatically get selected, something like this. Alright, this is how we need to install all the required packages and connect our file, that is app.py, to our virtual environment. Welcome back. As I said, we are going to develop the project something like this, and the layout of the page, if you notice that we have the sidebar and also we have the wide layout in our main window. Now in this lesson, what we will see, we are going to create some kind of a sidebar, and in this sidebar I'll create some drag and drop download file where the user can able to browse his files and can able to do some kind of operations. That's what we're going to do in this lesson. Let me minimize this and go back to my app, and what you're going to do is, the first step, we need to import the important libraries, that is import Streamlit as st. Also import pandas as pd. The next important library that I actually required to do the profiling and the report generation is pandas profiling. So from pandas profiling, import profile report. This profile report function can able to create all the reports related to the data. Next is that from Streamlit pandas profiling, let's import from Streamlit pandas profiling, let's import st profile report, and this can display the pandas profile object into our Streamlit. Let me also import sys and also os. Okay, these are all the necessary libraries I want to import in our app.py. Now what I'm going to do is that the step number one is I'm going to create the sidebar. We know how to create the sidebar using the widgets, using with st.sidebar, and now whatever the things I'm placing within the width will come to the sidebar. And inside this, what I will do, I'll create some uploaded underscore file that's going to be equal to st.file uploader, and the label is going to be upload.csv, .slsx files. So that's what actually I'm requesting the user to upload .csv and .slx files and not exceeding 10 MB. So I will do some kind of validations to the file so that whatever file that is user is uploaded, which should not exceed 10 MB. Okay, because while doing the deployment and for easy operations, it is better to have the less data. If at all you want to deploy your application in the bigger clouds like AWS and GCP, then you can put whatever the limit you want. Okay, so that is my file upload object. Now once my file is uploaded, then what I need to do is I need to validate that if the file is uploaded. If the file is uploaded, then I need to load the data. Okay, let's say if uploaded file is not none, means if the uploaded file is not none, then I just need to load the data. It depends upon the file to file. Again, let's say if it is CSV, I need to use the panda CSV. If it is a .slx file, then I need to use the pd.xl. For time being, let's use for the CSV, and later on I will change to both how to do it for the CSV and the Excel. Okay, for time being, let's load only the CSV file. Time being, let's load CSV file. Later on I will change everything, and so that we can also load the Excel file too. Okay, so df equal to pd.read CSV, and the name of the file that I want to read is, it's coming in the uploaded file. Nothing but we will take this object and just pass it to our uploaded file, and we can able to read the object. In order to display this, we will use st.dataframe of df, and that will actually display our data into the Streamlit app. Let me display only the top 10 rows, or let me display only the top 5 rows, and that is enough for me. Okay, in order to run this application, what we will do, go back to my terminal and make sure you activate your virtual environment. By default, it will activate your virtual environment. If this is not get activated, then what you have to do is press dot, and then what you have to do is you need to press dot / and navigate to the data profile, scripts, and activate, and this will actually also activate your virtual environment. Okay, now let's run the application, which is Streamlit run app.py. Let's execute it. Okay, this is success, and we can now see we have the sidebar, and we can minimize and we can also maximize our sidebar, and we also having the drag and drop file, and we got some message saying that upload CSV and Excel file not exceeding the 10 MB. Okay, now what we will do, let's click on the browse file, and let's choose the steps.csv. We already know the steps.csv, and click on open. And here you go, this is the sample data frame of displaying the top 5 rows, and we have the total bill, tips, sex, smoker, day, etc. Okay, with this we know we have successfully loaded our data. Now the next step is, instead of displaying our data, I will display the profile report. Let me go back to my app, and what I will do, I will use this profile report, and that profile report will generate the report of our data. Okay, what I will do, let me remove everything, and here what I will do, generate report. And in order to generate the report, generally it will take some time to generate the report, so that's the reason what I will do, let me use the spinner. Okay, with st.spinner, and I'll ask us the user to wait some time, please be processing, something like this, and generating report. Okay, and inside this what I will do is I'm going to create an object which is the profile report. I'm going to use the profile report. This is my profile report, and inside that I just need to pass the data frame, which is df. Okay, that's it. Now in order to visualize the profile report, what we have to do, we will use the st.profile report to generate the profile. Okay, once we're done with this, and outside the loop I will use the st_profile report of pr, which will generate the profile report. Okay, let's save this and go back to my application and rerun the application, and here you go, you can see that generating the profile report, some loading is happening. It basically means that object is analyzing the entire data and will get the output, and here you go, we got the output. And what you can see is that we got the overview, we got the alerts and reproduction. In the overview we can see, like, what is the number of variables, number of observations, and missing cells, etc., right? And now coming to the variables, we will get the detailed report on each and every variable. Like total bill, we have this many distinct values, and 93.9% of values are distinct, and the mean is this, and so on. And you can also look into total details of statistics of the data, and the distribution or histogram of the data, and the common values, extreme values, so on. Like this, we can able to get the entire detailed reporting with the pandas profiler. Okay, but the thing is that, like, this is basically become so much of narrow. What I will do, I just want to make the wide layout. In order to get the wide layout, what I have to do is that I need to change the page setting config. For that, let me go back to my app, and in the app what I will do is, above the sidebar, let me type st dot set underscore page underscore config. Okay, and inside the config, what I will do, I'll just ask the page title. The page title can be, let me give the page title is data profiler. And the next one is, you can also set what are the page icon you want. Let's say if you have any svg file or png file with you, and you can easily set the page icon. And basically I majorly interested in the layout. The layout should be the wide layout, that's going to be equal to the wide. Usually the center is the default, we need to change that to wide. Okay, change to wide. Now save this, we go back to my application, rerun this, and this is cool. Okay, and here you go, we have the detailed generate reporting on this, like overview of the data, alerts, reproduction, and also the detailed reporting about the each and every variables. If you click on the toggle details, we will get the cool details about the data, and also the interactions. What are the scatter plot for the numerical information you want, you can really get this. And similarly the correlation plots, and missing value information, and the sample data. Cool, right? So this is how we can generate the profile report using pandas profiling. In the next lesson, we will do more validations in this project. I will see you on that. Until then, happy learning. This is our deployed app, and here you can see some modes of operation, like do you want the minimum report. So basically we have the detailed reporting is there. Instead we can also get the minimal report by just check this box, and again it is generating the report. So now we can get the minimum reporting just about the data, and no alerts, etc., no kind of a correlation, and only we have the information about the total bill, and but we have still the histogram and some kind of as descriptive statistics, etc., and rest all the things like correlation, interactions, missing values, etc. So those kind of information we actually hiding it. And if you uncheck this again, and you can get again the detailed reporting of our data. Okay, let's see that. Okay, now here you go, again we got the detailed reporting of data, and everything is there, like interactions, correlation, missing values, etc. And also in this lesson we will also see the widgets to set the display mode. Like this is the primary mode by default, and there is a dark mode, and the next one is the orange mode. So these are all three different kinds of modes. We can really put that into our Streamlit app. This is the dark mode, and let me also look into the orange mode. Yeah, so this is the orange mode. Now in this lesson, let's integrate the widgets to our app. Okay, let's minimize this and also minimize this, and now we are in our app. Here I'm basically adding everything in my sidebar. Now let's start looking our mode of operations. Okay, so what I will do is that if uploaded, we have the uploaded file. I'll just write the validations condition, like says that if upload file is not none, basically my file is uploaded, then what I have to do is that I will give some modes of operation. Let's say the first one is I'll just give some st.write, and I'll display the modes of operation. Okay, now I'll just give you some list of operations. So before that, we need to understand this profile report. If you put comma here, we can see the doc string, and it says that we have the minimal. If you set the minimal is true, then you'll get the minimal reporting. And explorative is obviously can set to false, because anyway minimal and explorative is basically both are equal. If you set the minimal, then explorative is also false. Next thing is the modes of operation, like how we want to display that. Is a dark mode and orange mode, so we have this information is also there. So we can set the dark mode or also the orange mode too. For this I will use a radio button to set this. Okay, so first let me write the arguments. That is, first one is minimal, and let me create a variable name minimal. Next is modes of operation. If it is a dark mode, and the variable is dark mode. And similarly, for the argument orange mode, and the variable will be the orange mode. I'll just give this all the values, ORANGE underscore mode. Okay, let me put this. Now cool. Now what we will do, we will dynamically set the values like minimal, dark mode, this is dark mode, orange mode, etc. and in my sidebar. Okay, now here in the modes of operation below this, what I will do is the first one, I'll set the minimal, and that's going to be equal to, which is a checkbox. I'll create a checkbox, and we know that the checkbox will return the boolean value. If you check that, it will return the boolean value that is true. Okay, now write the label, says that do you want minimal report. If the user plus check, and this will be true, and this comes into the minimal. And similarly, we'll also report the modes of operation, that is the display mode. Like we can use display mode is equal to, I'll use a radio button, st dot radio, and now the label will be display mode. Now let's give some options to this. Let's say opt options are in a tuple. First one is primary. Primary is a blue color, and second one is dark, and third one is orange. So all the options I'll give, and of course the default value will be the first value, that is a primary, and based upon the user preference, and we can able to change this display mode. And this display mode we will define, based upon this display mode we will set this dark mode and orange mode. Let's say again one more validation, if display mode is equal to dark, then what I want to do is that I need to set the dark mode to true, else, and orange mode equal to false. If display mode equal to this time it is orange, then I will set the dark mode to false and orange mode to true, else both are false. That will be my primary. Dark mode to false and orange mode equal to false. Okay, with this, what happens is that we successfully set our modes of operation, and based upon the user preference, we can dynamically change our profile reporting. Let me save this and now go back to my application and rerun the application. And here you go. You can see that we have the widgets are there like checkbox and the radio button. And if you click on the minimal report, you will get the basic minimal reporting, something like the overview and the reproduction dates and the way regarding the variables, total bill, tips, sex, smoker, etc. And of course we don't have the information about the interaction, missing values, etc. Cool. And also if you uncheck this, it can come back to our original form. That is a complete detailed reporting. Obviously this is most useful, right? Getting the complete detailed reporting and everything, correlation, missing values, that's really makes sense. And also you can change the mode of operation. That is, if you click on dark, you can get the dark color, and if you click on orange, you can get the orange color. So this is the dark mode. Every operations is in the dark, and if you click on the orange, and you can see the visualizations and you can see the visualizations in orange mode. So this is how we can use the Streamlit widgets as well as the profile reporting to really generate some very cool stuff in Streamlit. In the next lesson, we will also do the one more validation that the uploaded file should be either CSV or the Excel file. And also we will see how to load the Excel file and also display the different sheets in the Excel file. I will see you on that. Until then, happy learning. Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we have added the widgets to our data profiling, that is display mode, and also the minimal report yes or no. Alright. Now the next step is actually in our program we return only for the CSV file. But actually we should allow both CSV as well as the Excel file. And if the user uploads any file apart from CSV or Excel file, we need to reject that. Okay, that's what we need to do now. So let me go back to the code, and what we're going to do here is we just need to do one more validation. That is the first thing, we need to allow only CSV as well as the Excel file. That is what we need to allow here. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will write some function for this like df and validate file, and the input for this, it will be the file. And now what exactly is happening is that basically this file is going to be my upload file, and here first we need to take the name of the file. We know how to take the name of the file because we already saw in the previous lessons, which is, let's say, file name is equal to file dot name will actually gives the name of the file. Now in this file name we need to split that into two parts. One is name and second one is extension of the file. We can use the OS library to do that, which is name comma ext. That's going to be equal to os dot path dot split text, and the text is file name, and that will actually split the data into two parts, that is name and second one is extension. Now you just need to write the validation here, something like if ext not in, let's say, XLS file, or let's say if ext in the file I just want to allow here is .csv, and the next one is xlsx .xlsx. So only these two extensions I need to allow now. And if this is the case, then I will return ext. Otherwise what I will do, I will return else, I will return false. The meaning of false is saying that this, what are the extension of the file is not coming in the CSV or Excel file. That's what the validation I want to do now. Next, what I will do here is if file is uploaded, and before reading whether it is a CSV or this, first let's validate this, and let me copy this. Now call this one, which is ext is equal to validate the file, and the file is uploaded file. And if the file is apart from CSV or Excel, we will return the false, otherwise we will return the extension. Now let me say that if ext ext is something like any kind of thing, could be the excel file or could be the csv file. If it is false, then I should not count this. Okay. Okay, if it is ext, now I just want to identify, like if it is ext, then there are two possibilities are there, either csv or excel file. Now again, let me say, like if ext equal to csv, so that's the .csv, then I need to run this one. So by df is equal to pd dot read csv. Make sure you maintain the indentation, otherwise it throw an error. Okay, so you should maintain the indentation here. Next, else if it is not csv, then it is the excel file. If it is the excel file, the first one, it is excel file, that's going to be equal to, I will read that using pd.excel, pd.read excel, or we can also read using the pd.excel file. There are a lot of advantages of reading the excel file because we can able to get the sheet names also. We will also give the user the luxury of selecting the sheet. All right. Okay, now what I will do, pd.read excel, and the excel file I just want to read, it is uploaded file. Next, I will give you the list of sheet, so which is sheet underscore tuple, that's going to be equal to tuple of excel file dot sheet names, which will actually give the list of sheets. I'm converting that into tuple. Okay, that's what we have. Now I will give the user the choice of his own, like whether he want to read whichever sheet he want to read, we can give that choice. For that, I will create the multi-blocks, something like, let's say, sheet name, and I'm giving this for the user. So I'm creating one widget which is the select box in the right hand side or in the sidebar. So let me take st dot sidebar dot select box. Now here select the sheet, select the sheet, and the tuple of sheet or options of the sheet, it is sheet tuple, which will actually give the options. Cool, right? And this will actually give the sheet name. Now by default, what I will do is that anyway it will return the first sheet. So let me read that excel sheet, which is df is equal to excel file dot parse, and just need to provide the sheet name to this. The sheet name is sheet name. Okay, and with this I can read the excel file. That's it. So this is what exactly we can do. Like if it is a csv, we can read the csv, otherwise if it's excel, we can also read the excel file. So that is how we can read a csv or excel file. And once we get the data frame, the next step is we need to generate the profile reporting. For that, what I have to do is I need to put these two statements, that is the spinner and also the profile report, should be within this indentation. So within this, you should always maintain the indentation because that is most important. If it is not success, means if it is not false in the extension, then I will raise an error, or I will report an error saying that st.error, some error message, and says that kindly upload only csv or .xlsx file. Now what I will do, let's save this, go back to my application. Okay, now what we're going to do is I'm going to do it for the different image. This time I'll test for excel file. Let me close this. Now browse a file, and this time I'm going to browse the excel file, that is countries.excel. Let me open this, and oh, we are getting an error. Is saying that it requires the open PyXLRD. Yeah, the thing is that whenever you're working on some kind of excel sheet, this open PyXL is a dependency library. Okay, no problem. What I will do, let me go back to my terminal. So what I will do is that let me delete this and go back to my terminal and create the one more terminal and make sure you activate your virtual environment. Now install open PyXLRD. That's important. So pip install. Now what we need to do is that we need to install open PyXL. Also I need to install XLRD. Now enter to install the libraries. Alright, so we have successfully installed this. Now let me rerun the application, which is, let me clear this and rerun the application, which is Streamlit run, and with this is my app.py. Press enter to execute it. Now what I will do, let me choose a file which is the country.xlsx, and obviously it is generating the report. Okay, in this we have the 8 number of variables and the number of observations is 1704, and the categorical variables are 3 and the numerical information is 5, and this is the information about the each and every categorical information in this countries.xl file, and particularly it is the sheet number 1. And now this is some categorical information, life expectancy, population, etc. And also we have some interactions between the years and the life expectancy, and maybe the population and GDP per capita and etc. So you can look into the different visualization, how it is varying, etc. And also we have the correlation, and the next thing is this time you can notice that in the missing values we have the count and matrix. Apart from that, we also having the heat maps. The reason is that we have some missing values here, and you can notice that there are few missing values in this particular row, and we have few missing values in this rows. And in order to impute that, this heat maps gives you the very important information, like how each and every variable is related to each thing. For example, we are having the missing values in the continent and year. So if at all you want to impute the missing values in the continent, the one of the best thing is mean, median, mode. Otherwise we need to find some kind of a correlation, and using some machine learning models we can also impute that. And what you can say is that continent basically has the high correlation with the year, so we can build the machine learning model between the year and continent, and with that we can able to impute the missing values. And apart from that, we are also having the dendrogram information. This will also gives you the lots better information, like how each and every variable is related to each other. For example, what is the distance between the population and life expectancy? What you can see here is that population and that life expectancy are very close to each other. That means we can find a very strong relationship between this. So suppose if at all you want to impute some missing values in the continent, and anyway the correlation says that year, and even the dendrogram also says the same information. It says that continent is actually having the very less distance with the year, and it is a very reasonable information, and using that you can able to impute that, and we can give the entire profile information. That's fantastic thing about the pandas profiling. Okay, anyway, my idea here is that I just want to read the CSV as well as the Excel file. And here you can notice that we have the sheet information is there. Basically there are 2 sheets are there in the countries, and this is the sheet number 1, and let me also load the sheet number 2, and as soon as you press this, and automatically our report is generating. Please wait for a few seconds until we generate the report. Cool. So here we have the 4 information, that is country, latitude and longitude information, and this is what exactly what we have in this information. Cool. And that is how we can easily read the Excel files, CSV files, and generate the reports. Okay, let's test something which is not related to the CSV or Excel file. Okay, let's do that. Go back to my browser, and this time let me upload the requirements.txt. Ideally our app should reject this. Let's test this and click open. and yes, we got the rejection, says that kindly upload only csv.excel file. This is how the validation works in our app, and if you want to do some complication validations, that is also fine. Okay, in the next lesson we will talk more on this. Until then, happy learning. Welcome back. The next validation we need to do to our data is the file size should not exceed 10 megabyte. Okay, let's do that. Let me minimize this, go back to my program, and here basically whenever you're trying to upload the file, we just tested that it is a CSV or it is some kind of things, but also we need to look one more thing, that is the file size. The file size cannot exceed more than 10 megabyte. In order to know about the file size, what we can use a sys, and the sys.get file size, we can get the size of the file. Okay, let's write one more function, and it is get file size, and the input for this, it is the file. Now I can get the file size in bytes. Okay, size in bytes, that's going to be equal to sys.get size of, and the file that just want to find out is the file, and with this I can able to get the size of the file in bytes. Now just convert that into the megabyte. In order to convert that into the megabyte, let's say size in MB, and that's going to be equal to, let's take this bytes and divide it by 1024 into 1024. Okay, that's what we have to do. Otherwise we can also take this 1024 power of 2, and that will be my megabyte. Okay, so I'm going to return this return size underscore MB, and this will actually return the file size in megabyte. Cool. Now what we will do here is that here in the extension, and I'm going to do one more validation. That is, now what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to validate this if, and the file size is can be coming from this. Okay, so what I'll do first, let me calculate the file size. That's going to be equal to get underscore file size of uploaded file, and this will return the size of the file. Now let's do the validation. If file size greater than or equal to greater than 10, which is 10 megabyte, then or I can say, like, if the file size less than or equal to 10 megabyte, then this and all should get executed up to here. Okay, that's what the one more case. Else, if it is not less than 10 MB, then it is else is basically the file size is greater than 10 MB. Then let's execute the error. It is st.error, and says that maximum allowed file size is 10 megabyte, but received some this many megabyte. Okay, and that many megabyte is basically coming from file size, and this is my f string. Cool. So with this I can able to get the error message too, and that's it. And the next thing is that, let's say if file is not none, means if file is none, that's the last thing, that is else. If file is none, then let me put the title st.title data profiler, and let me put some info saying that upload your data in the sidebar, or you can say left sidebar to generate profiling. Okay, that's the info what we can say. Let's save this and now go back to my application and rerun this, and here you go. The first thing what we have is that this is my data profiler, because obviously there is no file here, and I'm asking you to upload the file here. And let's say if I upload any file, let's say if you upload the tips.csv, then it will generate the report. Cool. And let me test the file which is greater than 10 MB. Browse a file, and I'm having one file which is .csv which is more than 10 MB and it's approximately 25 MB. Let me see what exactly is happening. As soon as if I upload this, you should get an error. Yes, that's correct. That's what I'm looking for. The maximum allowed file size is 10 MB, but received some 25.3 MB, and that's not correct. Cool. Now let me test this with my countries. Open, and let's see this. And here we go. That's it. We got the entire information here, all the complete profiling and reporting. Okay. Hope you enjoy this lesson. In the next lesson, we will deploy our application. Until then, happy learning. Welcome back. In the previous lesson, we have seen how to create an application that is data profiler. Now in this lesson, we will start deploying our application in streamlit.share, which is a cloud platform. Here I am going to deploy my application in open source cloud platform by the Streamlit itself, is Streamlit Share. Okay, now I will show you how to deploy that in Streamlit Share. In order to deploy our application in Streamlit Share, the first step is we need to push our app to our GitHub repository. Then we will connect our repository to share.streamlit.io. In order to push our code in the GitHub repository, we require Git. For Linux and Mac, you might already get the Git by default. But for Windows, you need to install the Git software separately. Alright, so for the Windows user, let's get started to install the Git software. For Windows user, you need to install the Git. For that, go to Google and type Git and go to the first URL, that is git-sem.com. Click on that. And now click on Downloads. Usually for the Mac and Linux user, you might already get the GitHub by default. For Windows, we need to install the .exe file. Click on that and that will download the .exe file. Alright, I have successfully installed the Git. Now right click and run as administrator. Click on S. Just you need to click on next, and finally you'll see the install and click on install. Done. We have successfully installed our Git. Now just click on finish. Now open your Visual Studio Code, and we are in the Visual Studio Code now. And what you have to do is just stop the operation by pressing Ctrl C, and which will stop the application. Now in order to test or Git is installed or not, what you have to do is just type git --help, and this will basically give you the list of operations, what you have to do, etc. If you're seeing this message, then you have successfully installed Git. Now go back to my browser. In a new tab, type github.com and sign up to your github.com. If you're not having the account, then I request you to create an account in the GitHub. If you're already having the account with you, then log into your GitHub with your username and password. I'm already having the GitHub account with me, so I'm just logging into this. Alright, once you are in the GitHub, then you need to create a new repository. Click on plus icon and click on new repository, and name the repository name whatever you want. In my case, I will use Streamlit data profile. Okay, that's what the repository I want to create, and make sure you have to use the public. Now just click on create repository. Alright, we have successfully created the repository with the name streamlit-data profile. And in order to push our code into the repository, use the following commands. Alright, let's push our code into the GitHub repository. Let me go back to my VS Code, and now let's clear everything. And here what I have to do is I need to connect to my repository. Basically what I have to do is the first step is I need to do the initialization, which is git init. Okay, and now we have successfully initialized our GitHub repository, and click OK. Whatever the things it asks, just click OK. Next is that we need to add whatever the files I need to push into the repository. Those things I need to add here. Remember, I just need to push only the app.py and the requirements.txt. I don't want to push the data profile, which is my virtual environment. I just only push the app.py and the requirements.txt. And one thing I forgot to mention in the requirements.txt is we need to add the few more libraries, that is open, PyXL, and also XLRT. So this is two libraries which is basically required for the Excel sheet. Alright, now let's push this into our repository. For that we need to add git, type git, add, and what are the files I want to add here is, which is app.py and space requirements.txt. Only these two files I want to add, and press enter. Next is your first commit, git commit -m, and you can name what are the commit you want to do, and this is my simply deploy, and press enter. Next, create a branch which is git branch -m, and that's my main. I just want to put in my main branch. Next step is we need to add the remote, which is git remote add, and which is my origin. Now just provide the URL of your git. For that, go back to my git repository. This is what my HTTPS. Let's copy this. Now minimize this, and now provide the path of this. Now provide the URL, which is this, and press enter. Done. Now the final step is we need to push it. Git push -u origin main, and press enter. Alright, we have successfully pushed everything into our GitHub repository. Now you can check that. Go back to my page, refresh the GitHub, and here you go. You can see that we have the app.py and also the requirements.txt. Everything is there. Cool. Of course, you can also add readme, and you can write something about your application. Says that it is my Streamlit data profile application and blah blah blah. You can write some stuff regarding this. Okay, now what I have to do is that let's go back to my Visual Studio Code and run the application, which is Streamlit run app.py. Press enter. Okay, here you go. We have this, and let's test this again. Browse the files and upload the tips.csv and generating the report. And cool. So we got the report analysis and everything we got. Let's test this. Okay, fine. Okay, we are ready now. Let's deploy this app. For that, you need to click on the three lines, and you can see the option deploy this app. Click on deploy this app, and maybe you might get some error saying that unable to deploy because it is having git nor. Just click on continue anyway. Okay, and the next step is it is asking you to paste the GitHub repository. Just click on the paste the GitHub repository, and here what you have to do is you need to paste the link of your app.py. For that, go to my GitHub And this is my app.py, which is actually having my application, which is actually my application. And copy the path of your app.py. Now go back to this and paste it here. And finally, click on deploy. Okay, done. And we are start deploying our application, and you can see all the logs, everything, you can find it here. It will take a while, at least it might take some 10 to 15 minutes, depends upon your application. Just please be patient until you finish the entire deployment. I will see you once I finish this deployment. Done. We have successfully deployed our application. And here you go. This is what the URL of our application. You can click on this button to minimize this. And you can see the options are there, like browse files. Just click on the browse files. I'm going to click on the tips.csv and open, and it's got uploaded, and we're getting the generating the report, and done. So here you go, we have everything is there, and this is the overview, alerts and reproduction. And also you can look into the variables, interactions, correlation, and etc. Also we can change the what are the mode we want. Let's say I can change to the orange mode, and this is what the output which I got for the orange mode. And let me test for the different data. Let me browse, and let's say I'll go for the countries.xls file, and this is what the report of the application. You can see everything, all the reports and everything we can see here. Cool, right? This is how we can deploy our application, and the application that we deployed is a fantastic application where you can able to upload the Excel file or CSV file, and we can able to generate the entire profiling of the data. That's super cool, right? And this is how we can create the project in Streamlit and also deploy our application very easily. Hope you really enjoy this project. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next project.